We want to partner with people and countries who recognize the historic nature of the moment we're in, of the need to come together and build something truly new, a system of global trade that is balanced, one that is open, and one that is stable and fair.
Vice President J.D. Vance speaking in northern India today, praising progress on a trade deal with that country. The vice president met with the Prime Minister Modi on Monday as India looks to avoid U.S. tariffs. The two officially set the terms for ongoing negotiations and hope to come to an agreement this year. The U.S. is India's largest trading partner, and the two nations hope to hammer out a deal sometime in the next few months. The vice president is on a 4-day visit there. Joining him on the trip is 3 young children and his wife Usha, whose parents are from India. Officials in Ukraine now wrestling with concerns that U.S. officials could abandon efforts to reach a ceasefire deal in Ukraine's war with Russia.
If for some reason one of the two parties makes it very difficult, we're just going to say you're foolish, you're fools, you're horrible people, and we're going to just take a pass. But hopefully we won't have to do that. No, Marco's right in saying it. We want to see it end.
Following that, President Trump addressed the issue on Truth Social, saying that he hopes Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week. Joining us now, Andrij Dobriansky, Director of Communications and Media for the Ukrainian Congress Committee of America. Welcome to you, as always. A deal within a matter of days, is that realistic? And what's your read?
We know a lot of these deals that are being announced from the White House about a number of things aren't realistic. Surely a deal with India, which would be 3 times the size of any free trade agreement with Canada and Mexico, that took 2 years to make. So we're talking 3 times the population for both countries. This is unrealistic. And just as the words of J.D. Vance about Ukraine, many things that the White House is proposing doesn't really fit reality. What fits reality is when you watch the prime ministers of New Zealand and the United Kingdom this morning visiting a training base with Ukrainians, honoring those Ukrainian soldiers for what they're doing, calling them heroes for defending democracy. That's real. What we're getting out of the White House, unfortunately, is more smoke and mirrors. I do appreciate a lot of the work being done by the U.S. government, especially by the Treasury Secretary, who just signed a minerals deal, an agreement to go further with the minerals deal just last Thursday, and they're hoping to finish that up with a second deal, a second signature later this week.
So you do not give much weight to the comment from Marco Rubio that the U.S. would move on if a deal isn't reached, and if so, what role does that have Europe playing in the talks?
It would be much better for all parties if the United States were to put things down on paper with specific terms, as opposed to having the world guess what does he mean by washing hands. This is not a diplomatic term of art. We need to know what's happening in the world. And that's just not, I'm not saying Ukraine, I'm not saying just America, but the entire world would like to know what the White House is doing currently, because every day there's a change in direction, there's a change in statement. And when Marco Rubio comes out and says that happens to be completely out of line with existing U.S. law, which states very clearly since 2014 that the United States is committed to helping Ukraine return the lands occupied by Russia.
Putin said that there was going to be a ceasefire for the Easter weekend, but I know the president of Ukraine says that did not happen. I hear you chuckle. What is the status of the battlefield? What has happened there in the last several days?
Well, in the last several hours, actually in the last hour, Kharkiv was attacked by numerous drone attacks. There was no ceasefire. I find it, the chuckle comes from hearing news reports in the West saying that, well, Russia says this and Ukraine says this. This is not a he said situation. This is a situation you can see with video, the attacks coming on civilian population centers. What Russia did was try to show the world that they are interested in peace, which they are not, by announcing awaiting an unexpected ceasefire, which did not happen. Ukraine very, very kindly returned the offer of a ceasefire, saying Ukraine is committed to doing a ceasefire if you would like for 30 days, which is what President Trump initially proposed. That has been completely denounced by Russia. They want no part of that. Even a ceasefire that Ukraine proposed just on civilian targets. They're saying just don't do what you've been doing every day since the beginning of this war, which is target apartment buildings, schools, etc.
Yeah, women and children killed in the process. Andrij, thank you as always. Appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.